Hey guys, Nancy Faye here, Modern Day Pilgrim. I hope you're having a fabulous day today. Well, welcome back to my channel. Well, today I have Mitch with me. He's a new friend. I met him, about 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
We were at a grocery store together, and of course I didn't know him then. I just know him now. But we were shopping like peaceful citizens, and out of the blue, this guy yells, "Not so fancy Nancy!" And he took me by surprise. So then, of course, I was like a deer in the headlights and said, "I'm sorry, I don't know you. Do I know you from church? Do I know you from pickleball? Where do I know you from?" And he said, "No, I'm one of your subscribers. I watch your YouTube channel." So we got to talking how long his poor mom was waiting. It was terrible. Evelyn. Hey, Evelyn. And yeah, she was gracious and let him chat with me in the store. And then we chatted outside for a half hour. Then I forgot my groceries and I had to go back. I didn't tell you that part. And anyhow, somebody took my groceries out of the parking lot because I was talking to him so long in the parking lot. And then I realized I didn't have them because my cart wasn't by my car anymore. And then I had to go back and get my groceries. Some nice guy took them back to the store owner. I didn't tell you that.
Okay. Well,
that's a fact.
I was surprised to see you too. That was very surprising. It's like, I know her.
Yeah, he knows me. He knows me. But anyhow, Mitch here is a van camper, and he's only been van camping, for about a year?
Yeah, about a year. And I've only taken probably a handful of trips with the van.
Okay. So what we'd like to do is show you his van and the things that he's put in it, and just talk a little bit about how he got into van camping. And he has something he wants to show us that he devised to lift his bed up. So without any further ado, let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, Mitch, first of all, let's talk about your van. What year is it?
This is a 2015 Dodge Caravan.
All right, and when did you acquire this fine vehicle?
I got this last year. It was the middle of April. My other car was ready to go, and so I'd been looking at the van stuff, and I thought I'd try a minivan for a daily and to camp out of to see if I liked the lifestyle.
Gotcha. And so we were talking before, and you mentioned that you frequented channels on YouTube for like RVing or just different kind of van camping?
All of it. I'm very interested and intrigued by the people out on the road. So I looked at people doing all kinds of RVing, vans, campers, trailers, and then the people that would take off, especially leaving Michigan to go find warmer weather. So all that stuff. I've been following that for several years. Okay.
And then we also talked about, and I thought it was really interesting because I feel the same way, you were thinking about getting a van that wasn't a minivan, but maybe was more of a van that you could stand up in.
Yeah, high top.
And you said a few of the same things that I was thinking. Why was it that you didn't go with one of those types of vans and you went with a straight up family minivan?
Well, the first thing was the cost. The other thing was I needed a daily driver, and I didn't want to daily drive one of the high top vans. Plus they don't fit in a garage.
Right on.
So that was the number one. So living here in Michigan, if you can put your car in a garage, it's kind of a big deal with our seasons. And it just worked out with this. And then the other thing was the economy. So I told you, the minivan has turned out to be an awesome ride. If I would have known it before, I would have bought one of these things years ago. Yeah. They're just great vehicles and extremely comfortable to drive as well.
Right, and another thing that I remember we talked about is the fact that stealth camping in a minivan
it's the best.
It's the best.
There's no other vehicle that you could...
No, this comfortable that you could stay anywhere and not be detected. So the whole idea is to be not detected. That is the key for me.
Absolutely.
Even though those other vans are enticing, they look good, I think they're fantastic. And I just, for what I do on the road, just driving, rock hunting, driving around the Great Lakes and just pulling in anywhere and being able to sleep and be completely self-contained, that's the cat's meow.
I agree totally. And it's worked great for that. And that's the kind of traveling I've been doing. I'm spending time outside of the vehicle. So I could see if you got stuck or spent a lot of time or were maybe living out of a vehicle, then that might be a different story, because it'd be nice to stand up. But for running and gunning, kind of so to speak, and good vacations and outside the vehicle all day long, yeah, this is where it's at. I stealth camped for the better part of 2 weeks and had zero issue, no knocks, nothing.
And you stayed various places that are just out and about.
Yep, you just park.
No designated place.
Kind of park wherever you want, because nobody's, there's a million minivans on the road. Nobody cares.
That's exactly how I feel. I actually feel really secure sleeping in this because I don't believe anybody knows I'm in it.
That's how I felt too.
You have been on many, many great YouTube channels and have learned a lot from a lot of different people.
Yes, I have. But the minivan stuff I hadn't really looked at, because before I got this, when I was looking at other means. I have an older truck. I thought about a truck camper, maybe a walk-in van. And then when I decided to get another daily driver, that's when I kind of got turned on to the minivan thing. So in April when I got this, it was probably in May, I started looking at minivan build outs, and then I started to look for no build type minivan stuff, and that's where I found your channel.
Okay.
And you'll see there's a
Similarity?
lot of similarities here.
Okay, well, let's get into it. So right off the bat, I see you've got the Bouge RV refrigerator.
Yep, so this is the same fridge that you have. It's the 23 quart. It's a great refrigerator. I thought I might need something bigger, but I didn't, and I also was curious about how loud the thing might be sleeping, because I'm kind of a light sleeper.
How loud was it?
It's not loud. It's
not
a
loud at all.
quiet hum, and it's extremely efficient too.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And what do you have it hooked up to?
So
What do you power it with?
So underneath here, so this was an investment. This is an EcoFlow Delta 2 Max.
Okay.
And this is a 2,000 watt power station.
Okay.
So that's got more than enough capacity to run this and several other items if I should need something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to get some information about that from you. We talked about that in great length too, so I'll be learning about that a little bit more. Tell me about your crates. What do you got under your bed?
So underneath the bed, these are just $6 crates. I think I got them from Meijer. Here's my kitchen.
Okay.
I lived out of this for a couple of weeks. Everything I need for one person.
Got it.
And then all of them I have basically is just supplies. And then because I went during the fall was when I was camping.
Yep.
It was all about clothing. It
Right.
was,
so those bins carry your clothes. They carry utility items.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. It's like some of them are like a little garage. Other ones just clothes storage.
Yep. And now that I've got some time on them, I could probably eliminate at least a couple of them. So
yeah,
you really
it's funny
don't
how
need
you
all
figure
that.
out what you do and don't
Yeah.
need. Isn't that right?
So I overpacked a little on the clothes, but that was okay. The weather was going to either be 80 or 50.
Right, and we live in Michigan, so we never know. So when we go to the UP, we always pack that way anyway. I mean, I've got winter coats in my car for my trip, so it's just the way it goes. All right, let's head around the back here. All right, what kind of cot is this?
So this is the same one that you had. This is the Coleman Comfort Smart cot. This is the longer one. I think it's 80 by 30, I think are the dimensions on it.
Okay.
So they call it deluxe.
Okay, so yours is 30 inches wide, which I can see a difference. Mine's only 25. That looks really comfortable.
So on my floor, I kind of mapped out the size cot you had, and I just couldn't do that because I wanted the smaller one because I liked what you did with
But you have to be comfortable.
your cook box and all that.
Yeah,
I wanted to
right.
be able to do that, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's
so.
okay. You've got it all figured out.
Yeah, this works, and then I have a 6-inch foam
Trifold mattress?
trifold mattress, which that comes in handy.
You're telling me that because this is so thick, this mattress, it doesn't allow you to sit up on your bed straight. So you do something to make that happen?
So this is just a little bit too tall. My head will hit on here.
Right.
And it's not really bad. So what I end up doing is it's a bit of the routine, and it doesn't take that long, is I just fold the mattress up.
Right.
We're gonna pull this stuff back over here. Whoops, I have to unhook this. Pull that one off.
Where'd you get your trifold mattress?
Amazon.
Okay.
So the theme here is real simple. It was Amazon, Walmart, or Meijer.
Got it.
Oh, and Harbor Freight.
Oh yeah, good, right.
It's
Less is more, man.
The usuals.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So I would just kind of move this back like this.
Yep.
And now I can sit in here, and I'm 5'8". I can sit in here, and this is where I would eat or meal prep, and I would either eat and use the top of the cooler.
Okay.
And then I had a shelf right here. I'd set a towel up here if I needed to put something up here.
Got it.
And so this worked out very, very well. It was actually extremely well.
Good. Okay, that did work out
Just
quite
keeping
nice.
it simple, yeah.
Yeah. All right, super. All right, you can whip that back together real quick if you
Okay.
want. All right, we've got his bed all put back together here, and we have a couple more questions. You okay with that, Mitch?
Yep, let's go.
All right. Inquiring minds want to know, how do you use the restroom in your van?
Okay, so it's a little easier for me because I'm a guy, but so I have right there, you'll see the white bottle, that's for number one.
Yep.
And then we have Windex, which is the cleaner for everything. So
Yeah.
that's how I take care of that with that.
Nice. Yep.
And then on this side of the van over here, it's just a 5-gallon bucket with, well, the stuff you use for a 5-gallon bucket.
Okay.
And then so in the 2 weeks that I traveled around the lower and the upper, I did not have to use the bucket at all. There was always some place where I could go to the bathroom.
How about eating? Do you cook food in your van? Do you cook outside your van? Or do you bring just things that you don't have to cook and you're a really easy kind of eater guy?
So I'm really easy with food, and then along the lines with, in a couple of your videos you mentioned kind of preparing food.
Yeah.
So anything I had, I don't mind eating cold food. So there's no cooking in the van.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Okay.
And then I would just pack something in the freezer and eat it that way. Prepared food, smoked sausages, just stuff like that. I kept really simple stuff.
Yeah.
Really simple.
Yeah, so you're completely self-contained.
Yes.
You need nothing. So when you park, there's no need to get out for anything.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah,
And I did that on purpose, and I keep the front of the van. There's nothing in the front of the car when I park. So it just...
Oh, let's talk about that really quick. So Mitch does something a little bit different than I do. I have window covers from Heat Shield all around, front, back, and everywhere. Mitch does not do that. Mitch only has window covers from his sliding doors back, and he has a curtain here. It's a rod that he devised, that he put up, and he'll talk about that in a minute, but he just uses curtains. They're black satin. He pulls them closed, and he's good to go. But like, I would think that you would have light coming through here, Mitch. That would make me worry.
No, I tested it in a blacked out garage at night.
Yeah.
And I would put lights on kind of low in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So I could read, or even like maybe put a laptop or something on top of the cooler.
Yeah.
And I could watch a movie and nobody would ever know.
Would you show us how you devised your rod so you could have your curtain there?
So I got this. This is just from Walmart, last minute thing, and it's actually worked out extremely well. So this is just one of the adjustable curtain rods. I think it's like an 80-something inch length. And what I did is that normally these come and it has a 90-degree bend.
Okay.
And I straightened it out with pliers. All I did was take the turn and bend it up.
Got it.
And
so that's just a regular old curtain rod that you rebent to fit in your van.
And normally they sit this way when you hang them.
Understood.
So this is flipped out this way. It slides.
Yes.
And then I just jammed it up in here, and there's, it doesn't affect any of this at all.
No, of course not. Right.
Nope. It just barely sticks in the end.
Okay.
And it holds these curtains fine.
Beautiful.
It's a simple fix. Even though I haven't had any problems and it hides the light well, I could actually bend this up so it follows this contour, and I bet you I could get it within an inch all the way around. So I may try that.
That might be a project.
Next version.
Yeah, next version, next project.
Yep.
All right, so that's how he keeps the light out of there. And one more thing I noticed you have on your van is you have rain guards. Now, when you're van camping, do you keep your windows cracked?
Yes, I do. So air circulation is important, as you mentioned, and if you spend any time in the vehicle, condensation is an issue.
Oh, absolutely.
And so these are great. And I got the ones that tape on the outside. I think they work a little bit better than versus the ones that kind of stick in the tracks.
Okay, I have the ones that stick in the tracks.
Have you had any issues with those at all? Really?
No, I
okay.
have not one issue yet, no.
Interesting.
They're still in. I've had one set.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. These have worked great. You can crack the window a little bit. They're cracked right now. You don't even know it's open.
Oh, I love it.
So,
to me, they're an absolute must. You have to have
absolutely. Plus, if it's raining, I mean, you can open, it's what they're for, is to open the windows while it's raining, but it's just good for ventilation. People don't know you have the window open.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is necessary if you're going to do something like this.
Oh, I agree 100%. And one last thing that I want to talk about, Mitch, is you devised a little block to lift up your bed. Can you show us what that looks like real quick?
Yeah, actually I can show you on this side right here.
That's
so
great.
There's a couple of them. So the van is about 3 or 4 inches low behind the seats.
Can we take your chair out of there maybe?
Yep.
Thanks.
I'm going to set it right up here.
Perfect.
So the floor is kind of wonky, and it goes up several levels as you go towards the back of the van.
Right.
So what I did was I just made this. This is real quick and easy. Just 2x4 scrap wood. Mm-hmm. And
press board or particle board or something.
Yeah, this is like a press board, I think. And then so you can see this surface grabs the carpet well. Yeah. This is smooth, and this is just, you see what it is.
Yep, 3 blocks.
So when I made these, so now I look back at what I did. You always learn from your mistakes. So I cut these out, and I actually cut these pieces before and then screwed them on afterwards. It wasn't a big deal, but I had to put the piece that I made in there and clamp it and screw it. If I was going to do this again, I would have put the third one up here screwed it down, and then I would have taken the saw and cut the gap
sure,
out.
sure.
Just I looked at what I did and I thought, man, I could have done that a lot better.
Yeah, that could have been a lot easier. But like you said, we learn from our mistakes.
So, but these things are awesome, and you seen how quick it was to take in and out.
Yeah. And you've got two, one on each side for the middle and the end legs there, correct?
So yeah, so these ends, and then in the middle, in the minivan where the seats clamp in with the stowaway seats, there's metal rings that come out of the floor. You've mentioned them in your videos.
Yeah.
The other ones have the same style, but they're only 2 of these tall.
Yeah.
And this edge sits against the metal rings, and then it won't slide forward. So they're permanently locked in.
Got it.
And all of this comes out. I can take all this out of here in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so that's another great thing. This is a no build, a complete no build, which means you're in and out 15 minutes. You can get your van ready to go.
And that's not an exaggeration.
No.
15 minutes if I'm moving slow and
having a cup of coffee.
Yeah, taking my time.
Dragging
I can take
your can.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, Mitch, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you meeting me here and just showing us all about your van, and it was great to meet you, and thanks for giving me a shout out in the grocery store. That was it was crazy.
It was fun to see you, and I'm glad we had a chance to do this.
Yeah.
And if anybody's watching, give this a try. Watch Nancy's videos. You'll learn a lot from them. Good stuff.
All right, Mitch, take care.
Bye,
and,
everybody.
Thanks again.